Invincible versus Conquest was genuinely one of the craziest fights I've ever seen in modern media. So let's talk about it. The fight starts off with Invincible and Conquest clashing in the air that sends a whole shockwave throughout the city. But Conquest headbutts and gets a hold of Mark and drives this man to the ground. After putting Mark on hard concrete, Conquest starts to yap about how bro wasn't there to spread the news about the Great Viltrum Empire or any bullshit like that. This man straight up told Mark,
I want you to resist,
because it would give him the excuse to throw hands with no restrictions whatsoever. Conquest deadass pulled up strictly for the fade and nothing else. Bro didn't care about Viltrum's greatness, he just wanted to beat the shit out of Mark. But Mark finally hits him back to shut his bitch ass up, which he then proceeded to fly Conquest through multiple buildings and hit him with a boom, bap, bop combo, and just kept hitting him continuously till they were outside of Earth and in space. And from the looks of it, it seems like Mark low-key holding his ground against his opponent for once. But when he flies up to space and gets ready to square up again, Conquest makes a heart with his blood and shoots it over to Mark. And that's when I was like, ah, hell nah.
This nigga is crazy.
This motherfucker is a straight up brick eater. And this is when he started tryharding for real. So apparently the blood-shaped heart that Conquest made was enough to distract Mark, that Conquest packed him up like he worked for UPS and sent him all the way back to Earth and had Mark hitting the guys. He's right behind me, isn't he? Where Conquest hits this man so hard, it looks like he leveled the city. Meanwhile, Debbie sees Mark getting beat up by a Viltrumite on national TV for the second time, and Oliver is fiending to throw some hands and wants to go help his brother, which Debbie actually allows him to because it was very clear that Mark was getting his ass handed to. And at one point, the ass beating was getting so bad for Mark that for the first time in a fight in his career, he requested a timeout and was like, yo, please stop and hear me out, bruh. But y'all already know, this man Conquest don't give a fuck about none of that. He'll do anything as long as it's to run the hands with somebody. Suddenly, Oliver comes out of nowhere and saves Mark and hits this sliding post. And y'all can't tell me this shit ain't aura. I was low-key thinking, okay, Oliver might actually cook. But oh man, this shit was actually a catastrophe. Oliver proceeds to say, big ass beat down coming up, which technically was true, but Oliver was the one who got his shit kicked in. Conquest saw bro coming from a mile away. It was like, man, sit your dumb ass down, and slams him to the ground so hard that animators added a fucking impact frame on this shit. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Mark keeps trying to go at him, getting a good headbutt in, but then Conquest's zesty ass is like,
almost there.
Hey, yo, bro, calm down. You're in a fight. Your name is not Hisoka. And at one point, Mark is like, I've had enough of this shit, and grabs Conquest and just starts punching this motherfucker repeatedly. And it sounds like he's doing damage until it pans out. And this man Conquest is just eating this man's punches. Oh my god. I'll say it again, bro. This man is a certified brick eater. Conquest was taking this shit like a good boy. And it's safe to say that at this point in the fight, Mark was getting absolutely cooked. Bro was outclassed in every single category and was getting thrown like a ragdoll every second throughout this fight. Meanwhile, Adam Eve wakes up in the hospital and sees Mark getting his ass beat and transforms and gets ready to leave, while the doctor's like, wait, you can't even walk yet, bro. But then the King Von in her wakes up and said do I look like I need to walk? When it comes to this girl's man, she does not play. So we cut back to the fight, and Oliver is trying to motivate Mark and strategize on how to take him down. But Conquest is just like, Mark, you've been fucking trash this entire fight. Take a timeout while I use your brother as a stress toy. He then bitched the fuck out of Mark and punches Oliver, knocking his teeth out, and just starts stretching him out like a rubber band, trying to pull this motherfucker apart. But that's when Mark saves him, and bro, this man Conquest continues to solidify his title of being one of the biggest menaces in this show. He sends Mark skipping over the ocean like a rock and proceeds to pull a fucking Omni-Man and run marched through crowds of people on the beach. Like, dude, what the fuck is up with Viltrumites and running them through crowds of people to kill them? Like, at this point, this shit gotta be a tradition every Christmas on Viltrum or some shit. Because it's crazy that this has happened twice. And one of the most disgusting things that happens is that bro hits Mark's leg so hard, his fucking bone pops out of his body. And Mark gets put out of commission again. And this is when Adam Eve pulls up. And low-key, she starts cooking. When Conquest charges at her, she stops him by raising the density of the air around him. Like, bro, I can't even lie. This shit is actually so tough. Adam Eve was summoning hammers, spikes, walls, all kinds of shit. Bro, she's doing more work in this scene alone than the Immortal has done all series. But unfortunately, like Linsanity, her legendary run came to an end too soon, and Conquest showed her no mercy at all. Bro sucked the shit out of her and turned her into a fucking donut, which causes Mark to beg for some sea salt.
Sea salt! I need you, sea salt!
My bad, that shit was corny. Anyways, Mark starts to crash out after thinking he just lost his little Pookie. So he destroys Conquest's gauntlet, which also breaks his arm. But dude, Mark just starts going fucking crazy, bobbing and weaving. And when Conquest starts to bear hug him, bro starts chomping on him like an alligator, and they just start boxing some more. In the midst of all this going on, Adam Eve is actually still alive and gets a Super Saiyan power up, while Mark gets put on his ass for the millionth time. Which is when Conquest starts whispering into his ear real seductively,
I am so lonely.
like, dog, is this a fight or an OnlyFans video? I am so confused. I genuinely thought some cheeks were about to get clapped, bro. But before he chokes the fuck out of Mark, Eve comes out of nowhere and shoots a whole death beam at Conquest, which causes her to pass out and lets Mark get the upper hand. And holy fuck, man, this dude actually starts tweaking bad. Like, bro, just listen to this shit.
You enjoy yourself? Still having fun?
Conquest for real got this man losing his sanity like Light when he finally killed L. And he got this man headbutting like there's no tomorrow, which ends the fight where Mark just barely comes out on top. In summary, this whole fight was just filled with straight hands, brick eating, tweaking, and a justified crash out. Anyways, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and a comment down below on what anime or show you'd like me to make a video on next. I'll see y'all in the next one. We out this out.